abide in this particular, tool. And therefore, today we are going to learn all the tips and tricks that are very central to our staying safe, when using the internet through the browser. So I think without further ado, I will want to invite the first speaker, Abdulrazak Ali, a distinguished cybersecurity expert from the Center of Excellence in Lagos State University, to present, his lecture. Of course, it's going to be for 15 minutes. Thereafter, I will invite the second speaker to speak also for 15 minutes. And thereafter, the plenary discussions will take place. So, distinguished Abdulrazak Ali, can you please go ahead with your presentation? Except if the distinguished facilitator general has one thing or the other to add.
No, sir. No, sir. Okay. I'm good.
So, Mr. Abdulrazak Ali.
Yeah, if it's not ready, we'll go to the next person. Okay. And if the two of them are not ready, we'll just go on with enjoying ourselves. Yes.
Okay.
You can call the next speaker.
Dr. John Ogonenwe. Please proceed with your presentation on VPN. Okay. It's coming on. So please go ahead while the slide is being shared.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you so very much for the opportunity, sir. I'm very grateful. The senior professor emeritus and Erudite Facilitator General, I'm most grateful for his privilege. Chairman and the court and the participants here. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Well, my name is John Ogonenwe from ACC LASU, and I'll be talking about VPN and cybersecurity. Well, cybersecurity and VPN are closely linked. As a matter of fact, we need VPN to enhance our cybersecurity life. Cybersecurity, I will not say has been overflowed, but there's need to still rate it again. Well, we're going to look at the content of our top subject of discussion today. So we're going to look at what cybersecurity is, also look at what VPN is, and how it works, then how it evolves over time, and the types of the VPN, then the services, choosing a VPN, then the limitation and the best practice, then benefits of using VPN, and also future of VPN. So, like I said earlier, we've discussed about cybersecurity, and we've talked about cybersecurity all through. So it has been a pillar of this whole model. And cybersecurity, as you've learned, is just a fancy way of saying, how do you protect your system, your network, or your data from attacks? Ensuring that whatsoever I put on there, or whatsoever I save, is meant for me and me alone until I access it. Then also ensuring that whenever I need it, I get it. That's the availability. Then ensuring nobody touches. Not that I want, I send a message to a friend saying, oh, guy, let us go and have a proper egusi soup and a pounded yam. And my friend is receiving a message saying, I want to eat shawarma and pounded yam. Then there's a problem. That is no more cybersecurity, which is someone has gotten between and caused a problem between our communication. So why is it important that cybersecurity is at the front burner of our discourse today? Because of the increasing threats, we've discovered that cybersecurity is essential to be taught across board. Now, VPN is an essential tool, like I said initially, to help us enhance our cybersecurity, because it helps us encrypt the data that we're setting online, and it's routed through a server, mask your IP address, and present to the world as if you're coming from somewhere else. What do I mean? Let's imagine this. I'm going to give you a two-tailed analysis or a scenario now. Imagine you're driving in your private vehicle, no government plated number, just driving in your brand new vehicle. And 500 meters away from where you are, you see the law enforcement agents. Let's say road safety or let's say VI, usually working at clusters. So they see you, and on getting there, they stop you because they've seen the psychology where you drive, and you're saying that, oh, let them don't stop me. They will stop you and they ask for your sir, your driver's license, or open your boots, let us see what's your extinguisher, your spare, and all whatnot. But now imagine this. That same 500 meters away, as you sight them, you say, oh, let me get this my Marshall kit. Now, Marshall kit is part of the kit they give to you as a road safety official. So as a member of that law enforcement, you have a kit. So you carry your reflective jacket and maybe your cap and put on your passenger seat. Just put it on there. On approaching there, they try to stop you. But as they get close to you, as you're parking, they sight the reflective jacket or maybe the cap or something that shows you a road marshal. Oh, they say, oh, God, sorry, where they go? They didn't search for any other thing. That is VPN. Invariably, what does it do? It masks you such that nobody sees or asks any further question about you. So concealing everything. So how does this really work? The first is the client initialization. And under this client initialization is when you have the software on your phone or your device. So you tap on it and say connect. It initialize a connection between your system or your device and the VPN server. Then next, there's an established connection. And then the server says, oh, okay, I can see you are coming from a client on the device. Okay, don't worry, I'll give you an encryption key. So next time when you want to talk to me, I'm going to ensure that you have no problem. But before you proceed, I want to authenticate and ensure that you are whom you are. Then it gives you a username and password and ensure you take on that certificate. Then you proceed. Then it says, okay, I bring on the message. The next thing it does is that it encrypts that message and ensures that whenever you're leaving or whenever it's leaving from that end, it stays encrypted. Now, encryption is just trying to wrap up whatever a message you send, you put it in a box and juggle it around. Like you're having a goosey soup. You don't know whether they use bitter leaf or is that a goosey or they added gari inside the goosey soup. So it's just all scattered and you can't really tell the exact thing until you put it in your mouth. Now, the next is the data transmission. Now that data leaves from that from your device. Going on, the server says, oh, since you are connected, oh, I recognize you. I'm going to ensure that anything you're passing passes through a tunnel, like a straw. Just make sure it goes through. Nobody sees what's inside. And then he said, okay, as I come, I'm going to give you a special address. Your IP address is like your home address. Let's consider it to be your home address. So he just says, okay, I'm going to give you a new address so that whenever he looks at you, though you're in Nigeria, he says, oh, this person must be coming from the UK, or must be coming from Germany, or must be coming from the US. So it gives you a different IP, totally off what you have initially. Then next, it ensures that your data as it leaves, going to the receiving server or the receiving VPN, the receiving VPN gets the message, so, okay, you want to access certain files on YouTube or certain videos on YouTube, or you want to go on Google. Google sees you based on the new address. He said, oh, so who are you? Oh, I'm from the UK. Oh, sorry, I take information as regards the UK. Oh, I'm from Germany. Next thing you hit on there and it's giving information like you're in Germany. You see the language, all of a sudden it changes from your browser. And then you wonder what happened. That is what VPN can do. Now, when it gets to that and receiving server, it now takes on that response, decrypt it, and send it back again through the same route, going back to where it's come from, as in that's your device. And of course, there becomes a sweet connection between you and your desired site, which you want to visit. But then, what happens if somebody wants to pry into it? Say the government, maybe some malicious actor, wants to get between you to see what you're trying to do. The next thing that happens is that even though there's a sweet connection, there's a kill switch that ensures that nobody tampers or gets between you and that connection. That's to prevent your IP from leaking. So you don't say, oh, no, this person claims from US. So what's happening? I'm seeing something else. So quickly it disconnects and make sure that terminates. So in essence, what really happens here is that the VPN encrypts your data. That's proper encryption using like AES 256 or Charter 20. These are all part of encryption just to scramble your data. Then let's say it tunnels it through a path destination such that you and the receiving server communicates effectively without anybody eavesdropping. Then next, it marks your IP. Okay, so how did it start? Well, they actually started with Swipe, which is a software internet protocol. This started with in 1993 by John Lennon, and it wasn't a full commercial thing. That was just it was like an idea that just started because they hit the commercial market. But then in '96, Microsoft said, "Hey, I heard something. You know, somebody wants to make a secure connection between two people. I think we should hit the market and make money from there." Then they came up with your point-to-point transfer protocol, which is a PPT. And we all realized that, Microsoft later realized that then there's a problem. This is actually highly vulnerable. And people are still hacking into and reading messages.
You have 3 more minutes. You have 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. Chairman, you are not making times.
So,
2:13. You have 2 more minutes.
Microsoft
3 more minutes, excuse me.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Microsoft came up in '99, and then in 2001, James Yuna came up and designed OpenVPN. Then in 2007, the same Microsoft came up to update the system, and then in 2006, WireGuard came up. It became very fast. It was very, very fast and not vulnerable as in other cases. So we have 2 types of VPN. We have on-site VPN, and then we have remote site VPN. This on-site VPN is basically what banks use when branch offices are trying to connect or talk to the head office. Then we have a remote access VPN, whereby an individual leaves that particular location and is maybe out of the country or at the airport, trying to connect with the company or get some information from the company, but it's not at a set location. So you give them a split tunneling through remote access VPN. Now, there are a lot of VPN services, of which you can pick whether paid or free, as the case may be. You won't want to pick free because most times they actually log your data, which means your online activity can be tracked. But paid version, actually, a lot of them claim that they don't track. So let's believe we go with that. So limitations is that 1, encryption will have to be checked, ensure that your encryption is perfect, ensure that there's no login policies. Then reduce speed. Of course, VPN causes reduction of speed. VPN does not handle phishing or malware. And also VPN does not handle viruses. So the best practice here is to ensure that you
use 2 minutes more.
Oh, thank you very much. Then it has no login policies for your VPN, and also ensure you regularly update your VPN. Now use VPN with firewalls as required. So we've talked about how to use or choose a good VPN. Ensure the security is very strong. You have to look for the encryption. Ensure it's actually very fast, like using WireGuard, and so ensure that the VPN does not give room for logging your policy, logging your online activity. Ensure they also have large servers so you can choose which country you decide to switch to. Then also ensure that they have a good customer service. The benefit of using VPN is that it bypasses restrictions. Then also it helps you transfer your data securely online. Then also in cybersecurity training, we also need VPN so that you don't tend to be attacked. Then the roles of VPN in cybersecurity: encrypted data, encryption of data, it marks your IP address. I've talked about that before. Then secure data transfer. It helps prevent man-in-the-middle attack. And also, in real-world case scenario, we've seen journalism, in education, in your everyday life as a viable security. I'd have loved to show us how to check your IP.
So sorry, your time is up.
Thank you very much, Dr. John.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
For that very practical and explicit presentation. I now invite the second speaker, Mr. or Dr. Abdulrazak Ali, another distinguished cybersecurity expert, please go ahead with your presentation. You have 15 minutes also.
All right. Good afternoon, distinguished men and women of academia. I bring you greetings from Africa Center of Excellence for Innovative and Transformative Self-Education. My name is Ali Olade Razak, and this afternoon we'll be looking at web browsers and cybersecurity. To start with, here are the outline of the objective for this class. By the end of the lesson, participants will be able to mention the critical roles of browsers in cybersecurity, identify common browser attack and risk, among others that have been highlighted. So what is a web browser, and why is a web browser very important in cybersecurity? So web browsers are like interfaces or network or interfaces between users and the internet. You know, every website, services, or online interactions happens through the web browsers. So they are not just tools. And attackers knows this, and they try to prey on their victims who may not really understand how, you know, they can get into them to attack them via the web browsers. So a compromised web browsers can lead to stolen identity, ransomware infections, or full account takeovers. So you have instances of cybersecurity attacks that were orchestrated through penetration from the web browser. So that is why it is very important for every online or internet user to be very much conversant with you know, the resources around the web browsers and how they can serve as a point of access to them via you know, these online attacks. So what are the common browser traits that are there? From the browsers, you know, we have numbers of, Internet Explorer, you know, Safari, Google Chrome, and a whole number of them. So these are the common attacks that can penetrate to, you know, every online users through web browsers. So the first one that we all must have known for the past is the phishing, which is, you know, fake pages imitating legitimate websites to steal credentials from the users. We have malicious links. We have drive-by download. This type of threat will definitely install itself without the user actions. All the user needs to do is to simply visit the site. The site must have been, you know, compromised with payloads that will definitely find their way into the systems by mere, you know, browsing through them. So we have session hijacking, we have auto-fill exploit, and as well as malicious extensions that are, you know, used by these cyber criminals to hijack browser traffic. So in our institutions, how do we ensure that we are cybersecurity compliant when it comes to the usage of our web browsers? So we have to watch out for outdated browsers on lab computers. You know, we have to also be very much conversant with our public network. You know, the Wi-Fi that we connect to, they can actually be, you know, hijacked. From my own institution, Lagos State University, we have a number of free access points that are there that are given to us by the ICT department. So this kind of network are very prone to risk. So users should be very much careful on the kind of information they access on their systems while connected to these, you know, services. So we have staff saving their password in shared browsers. This is very common in universities e-library, where users or students will access the library services, log in with their personal details, and refuse to log out. So this can be another instance where, you know, attack can penetrate to us eventually. Then we have multiple user profiles on same devices, among others. All of these are what browser-related risk in our institutions. So what are the ways of ensuring that we have secure browsing while using our browsers. To start with, it's important to mention that updating our browsers is a very good cyber hygienic process. We have learned in the past what the zero-day attack is. Vulnerability that are related to outdated websites, outdated applications and services that we use online. So it's important to install and use only trusted extensions alone. So we usually have to verify HTTPS and domain name properly before visiting websites. Baba have told us in the past how to check that, ensuring that the padlock key is very much intact in any web browsers and websites we are trying to use. Then we use password manager instead of saving or storing our passwords on the web browsers. So it is important to also clear cookies regularly, use incognito or private mode on public and shared computers. This will, relatively reduce how we are exposed to risk in the online space. So majority of us enable the autofill option, which allows the web browser to pick data from what it has stored about us in their metadata to fill form for us, among others. This is to tell us that all those information are resident in those web browsers at the back end. So anybody who has access to hack them will definitely also have access to our data. So it's important to use private browsers such as Brave, DuckDuckGo, and the Tor browsers. This kind of browser have relative security, and we can be sure of another layer of privacy while visiting the World Wide Web. Here is the outline of the popular web browsers and the kind of balances they give in between security, privacy, and convenience. Chrome is very fast and popular, but it collects a lot of data. Firefox is very customizable, but strong on privacy. Microsoft Edge is equally very good, but integrates with Windows, which means that whatever information you have on your Windows account, your Windows account will definitely have synchronization with these web browsers. We have Safari, which has a good control of privacy. Brave is another browser that blocks ads and trackers by default. And the Tor browser is very much strong when it comes to ensuring anonymity, but it's very slow to use. Tor browser, as Baba has told us, can be an access to the dark web as well. So this tells us that it is relatively safe to be used. So what are the safe browsing tips that are there? Like I rightly mentioned, whenever we are visiting any website through our web browsers, we must ensure that the HTTP padlock is there. When you look at any URL, immediately we enter the link into the web browser, we should watch out for the padlock icon. This shows that website has HTTPS. So once again, it's important to confirm that even that when we find the padlock there, we should try to click on the padlock to view the SSL certificate of the website. So aside from that, we should verify the actual domain name before we proceed to carry out transactions on any website. Take for instance, I've given an instance of a real URL and a fake URL here. So this is orchid.org. Sign in. Then we have the fake one. So what we need to look out for is a word that is very close to the extension. If it is not related to the actual domain name, then definitely it is a fake URL. So once again, we need to understand that HTTPS do not fully guarantee our security. What HTTPS will do is to ensure that your file, whatever you are sharing with that browser, without website, is safe, is transferred or transmitted with encryption. But that does not mean that hackers cannot equally activate HTTPS at their own end. And it might just mean that you are only finding yourself in safe passage into the hands of people that are waiting to hack you.
You have about 4 minutes left.
Okay, sir. So it's very important as well to confirm HTTPS and show that HTTPS have valid SSL, and to confirm that all we need to do is to click on the padlock icon on the URL as seen, on the web browser. So we have to avoid clicking on strange link, and we use, browser tool like HTTPS everywhere and URL void. This is going to ensure that even when we find ourselves into malicious websites, they still guide us to prompt us, based on our level of security. So in our various institutions, it's important to promote culture of safe browsing within our academic community, encouraging staff and students to adopt critical thinking online. What this implies is that before we proceed to carry out any transaction or use any service online, we should ask critical questions about the safety of that web browsers, yes, and the internet services that we are using. So we should share security awareness regularly, just like we are enjoying in this VICBHE training. We can equally extend whatever we have learned to our colleagues, to our students, and even our subordinates. We should normalize checking URL, scrutinizing extensions, and updating our browsers regularly. These are cautions that we need to promote to ensure that we are safe on the internet. On this note, I want to appreciate our dear father and teacher, the Facilitator General Babaoke Bukola, for this opportunity given to me once again to come and share part of what he has taught us in the past. I say thank you very much, sir. And I equally thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much, Ali Olawale Abdurazak, for that very brilliant presentation. Very brilliant and self-explanatory. So it's now time. Of course, we still have about 1 or 2 minutes left, just in case the Facilitator General will want to say 1 or 2 things. But meanwhile, we're about to go into the plenary discussion. The rule, we already know the ground rules. Of course, if you want to make a contribution or ask a question, please raise up your electronic hand and ensure that your video is on, and also ensure that your full names are stated. I think these are the ground rules, that are very familiar. Otherwise, even if you raise up your electronic hand, you are not likely to be called. So having said that, distinguished Facilitator General, sir, before we go into
no. I thoroughly enjoyed the presentations by two great scholars, cybersecurity experts. You can see yourselves that they have done very, very well.
Very well.
Well done, Sir John. Well done, Abdulrazak Ali. We're very, very proud of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, we will, as usual, we'll be taking just a set of 5-5. So I'll begin with Olajide Adejoke, Maichiki Isaac Peter, Godwin Samson, Nketinyere Nwokowe, I think then Olufemi Ogunrinde. So these are the 5 that we are going to begin with. So beginning with Olajide Adejoke, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I'm Olajide Adejoke Deborah from the Lagos State University. Please, sir, I just want to know on the issue of accepting cookies. So on the issue of accepting cookies, is it advisable? Because we have issue of accepting all, accepting, should we click on it? Thank you, sir.
Brilliant question. Brilliant question, yes.
Okay. Next is Maichiki Isaac Peter.
Okay, thank you very much. My question goes to the first speaker that talks about VPN.
Okay, can you call on the next person? Let's call on the next person. Call on the next person. We have the ground rules are there. Next person.
Godwin Samson.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Godwin Samson from the University of Uyo. My question goes to the first speaker. The first speaker Okay.
I think the man is
How do you
distracted.
check?
Let's go to the next person.
Okay,
Professor next person, please.
Professor
Okay. Yeah, Professor Nkechi Enwoko from VICBHE University. My question goes to the second speaker who spoke on VPN. I would want him to please explain to me, what this virtual private network has to do with Wi-Fi from various organizations. Like I was at the airport at Entebbe, tried to connect to the Wi-Fi of that airport. I had issues, and someone came and said, please, I should check on my VPN. So I couldn't do anything meaningful that day. So please, can he explain further on this VPN and what it has to do with Wi-Fi? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we can take the responses now from the presenters.
No, sir, we have Professor Olufemi Ogunrinde. That's the last one of the batch of five.
Okay, so that's true. Olufemi Ogunrinde.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Olufemi Ogunrinde, professor from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I have two questions to the first speaker.
I'm going to do something, if you don't mind. I will mute everybody now on account of some noise from different locations. So, Professor Ogunrinde, where are you, sir? Okay, fine. So you can unmute yourself now, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So two small questions. Apart from the drawbacks that we were told about for the virtual private networks, I'm just wondering, does it affect subscribe services? There are many times when we use our Google account to subscribe to services. So when we now mask that the service, when we mask our account, does it not affect the efficacy of those services? The second is that we have been told that the dark web is linked to browsers like the Tor. So I'm just wondering how safe are these private browsers that have a link to the dark web? Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. So responses now.
No, sir. Maybe we'll take some more, sir. We'll take
to balance of the other two.
Yeah, no. We'll take many more. They are not responding yet. They will respond after about maybe like 15
that's all right,
participants.
Sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir, that's all right. So thank you very much, sir. The next set of five: Toyin Odele, Augusta Ifioma, Bolanle Akinwande, Olishola Amodu, and Teslim Asafa. Toyin Odele, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Toyin Odele from the Federal College of Education, Special Oyo. My question goes to Dr. Ali. I would be assured over time that HTTPS, the S on the in front of the HTTPS, assures safety and security. But Dr. Ali is now saying the HTTPS doesn't mean that it is safe. So how do we, I would appreciate if you can further expatiate on how we can stay safe by identifying which HTTPS is right and wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Augusta Ifioma.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm Professor Augusta Emenike from Enugu State University of Science and Technology. My question goes to the second speaker on browsers and cookies. How do one choose the browsers to use? And then how do you now delete the cookies you have accepted at the issue? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Professor Bolanle Akinwande.
Thank you so much, sir. Bolanle Akinwande is my name from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the Facilitator General, Baba Okitola. If not for this gate, many of us would not have been informed this much. While I've not enjoyed all the modules, all the ones I enjoyed, I can tell you, sir, if not because they are free, majority of us would not have been able to subscribe in terms of monetary payments. Thank you so much, sir. And I pray that when the blinds at the end of the day get drawn, may you be rewarded appropriately beyond your imaginations. Even before then, may your entire lineage, even to the ones unborn, benefit from all these that you have done for humanity. We can never be grateful, sir. Whatever we say would surely forever be understatement. Thank you so much for.
Thank you very much, Professor Bolanle. We are all in agreement with you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So the first one I would say is it concerns the limitations in relation to presentation of Dr. Ugonemwe, use of VPN and policies of different locations. And as said by Professor Nkechi Nwokoye, that at a place she was asked questions about this VPN. How do we know when to stop and what to do at different locations? The second one, the issue of institutional domains, as said by Dr. Abdulrazak Ali, are we safe in terms of passwords used on institutional websites? Those are just my two concerns. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very
Thank
much.
you very much,
Professor Olushola Amodu, and thank you very much for your kind words also, and all the prayers.
Thank you very much. I'm Olushola Amodu from Lagos State University of Science and Technology. My question goes to the second presenter, Dr. Abdulrazak. When he was talking about domain name, I use an orchid as an example. I don't seem to get a clear distinction between the fake one he gave and the original one. Please, I need to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Teslim Ashafa or Asafa.
All right, good afternoon. I have two questions, but before that, I just want to also appreciate the Facilitator General for the level of discipline being exercised on this platform.
Thank you,
it is so difficult controlling 500, 600 people, even in your class. It's difficult to do, but you have been able to do that. Thank you so much for all this. And my first question goes to Professor John, the first speaker about the VPN. If I can use VPN to bypass my IP, to mask my IP, it means that the hacker can also do the same to defraud us without being able to trace them where they actually come from. How do we justify this? How do we superimpose this? That's the first question. The second question is about to Dr. Ali about web browser. You gave us some web browser, and then especially the one that is very common that I use now, the Google Chrome. You said that it consumes a lot of data. Please, I need a browser that does not consume and yet being very safe. You know, data is so expensive now, so we need something that can cost us less money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next set, Omojewe Ogene Room Sime, Dr. Mrs. Salisu Usoro Ndiferike, Shaibu Bello, and then Inekong Udo. Then Professor Olubukola Isa. These are the next set of 5, please. Dr. Mrs. Salisu, go ahead, please. Next, Usoro Ndifereke.
Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, all. I am Usoro Ndifereke from Tofet Legacy College. My question is for the second speaker. We have been told that we should avoid strange links. Then where we are not conversant with the link, but we've just been introduced to links, what should we do? Should we avoid such links when it is very important for us to use?
Thank you. Next, Professor Shaibu Bello.
Thank you. I'm Professor Shaibu Bello from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. I'm very comfortable with anonymity by VPN. It appears a bit unethical that it misdirect or mislocate you, that you are from working from US when you are in Nigeria. Does that look ethical? If they are not, I can't browse Netflix, maybe because they don't have a license in Nigeria. So I want you to address that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very important. Next, Professor Inekong Udo.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Associate Professor Inekong Udo from University of Nigeria in Nsukka. I want to ask, my question goes to Ali, Dr. Ali, and I want to thank both of them very well because they did marvelously well. When he was teaching us on secure browsing, I am conversant with all, did keep browsing updated and the rest, but the one he's talking about using incognito. so private mode on public. I'm lost. I don't really understand it. So I want him to throw more light on that. Thank you so much.
I'm sure he will provide the light. Professor Olubukola Isa.
Thank you very much, sir. I am Professor Isa from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. I have two questions. The first one is concerning VPN. And for VPN, I've come across various VPN. Some are free, but majority are not free. What are the implications of free ones and the ones that are not free? Then secondly, those ones that are not free, how do we know which one to pay for that will have value for our money? Those are the two questions, first of all. But let me still appreciate our Facilitator General for this opportunity he has given unto us to be participants in this program. It is quite mind-blowing and enlightening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think, can we take the final next set of 5?
Maybe not yet, sir. Maybe we'll take responses from the two speakers, and then we can take another batch of questions.
Okay,
if you don't mind, sir, if you don't mind.
No, that's perfectly okay, sir. Okay. So we begin with the first speaker.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, to address the issue of the VPN at the airport, let me start with that. It's a must. You must use VPN at the airport, because basically what hackers do is that they get in between you and the receiving server. And that's what we call man-in-the-middle attack. So if you do not use VPN, say you're trying to do transaction online, once you get on a public Wi-Fi, you will be hacked. Trust me. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was at the airport when I just started my journey of cybersecurity, and truth be told, I just had to just sweep through, and I saw a lot of things. Even hackers give you fake free Wi-Fi to join, and when you do that, you put in your details, and they will receive it from their end. So please, I advise that you stick with using VPN when you are not in your home. And also, geo restrictions, as regards Professor Schweib, your question on geo restrictions. Geo restrictions are best known to the government of any country. Like when Twitter was banned in Nigeria due to the issues they had, people are using VPN to bypass that restriction. So most times you just use that just to, basically to stay safe. Basically just to stay safe, not necessarily you being where you are not from. Then also finally, from Professor Okebukola Isa, yeah, you talked about which VPN to use. There are free VPNs and there are paid VPN. I just strongly recommend you go with your paid VPN, and you go on Google and look for the high-ranking ones like NordVPN. You see them online. When you go on Google, just search best VPN of the year. There are actually ratings on that. Thank you very much. I think that answers it all.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think Dr. Abdulrazak Ali.
Yeah, are you still online there, Abdulrazak? Let me just check. Can somebody check for me too? Yeah, I don't think it's online again.
Okay. So then
yeah, it's online. It's online. Okay. I'm just wondering. He's appearing twice in the room.
He's on 2 devices.
He's on 2 devices, which is very bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
No thanks. You have to show your video, my friend. You know the rules. Why are you breaking it so quickly?
Okay, sir.
Okay, the mic is not ready. Okay.
I'm here, sir.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sir. To start with, sir, cookies are just like extension in every web browsers that save small data on the devices. So just like details about our login activities, among others, so that by the time the user is trying to log in the next time, he or she will not need to, consistently have to supply the data again. So some cookies are relatively safe, while some that are gotten from third-party sites, like maybe advertisement, among others. Those are the ones we need to be very much careful about. So question about deleting them is very simple. You can just visit the settings of your web browsers, and you can easily, find a way to delete the cookies and other metadata from there, even cache from there as well. So talking about how to identify fake and
sorry, Dr. Abdulrazak Ali. Look,
yes, sir.
You've been asked a very simple question, and you have answered it so brilliantly. So just do a demo very quickly of how you can delete those cookies. Very simple thing. You just look. We have a broad range of scholars here. Those who are IT is from like 2/10 to 10/10. So don't be talking grammar on top of them. Just show us how it is done. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to respond to 2 of the questions relating to VPN.
Okay, sir.
You have to be quick now.
Yes, I'm doing that, sir.
All right, good.
So I am using the Edge browser from Microsoft. So I'm trying to launch the browser, please.
No problem.
Thanks. Okay, so I have it here now. Let me share my screen.
You're already sharing your screen.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks, sir. So what I have here is the setting interface of my web browser. And as you can see, at the top setting, we have where to clear the browser data, manage cookies, and do a whole lot of others. So from here, from clear browsing data, we'll do away with browsing histories, among others that are saved on this web browser. And to manage cookies, here we have them, options that we can activate or deactivate effectively based on what so if you look at what we have been, I've prevented or I've blocked third-party cookies from, from ads generally. So, and I think it is relatively safe to allow the ones that I know are very much okay for me. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Do you have, okay, Sir John, do you have any VPN, or are you using any VPN? We're going to teach somebody about VPN. Yes, so show your VPN. No, show your VPN. Okay, while you are waiting to show yours, let me tell you, I've been using VPN forever and a day. And the one I use is VICBHE. And VICBHE is one of the high-end ones. And I found it to be super. When I go to a hotel or airport, or where you have the public Wi-Fi, I activate my VPN. I activate my VPN so that it will cover me from the prying eyes of the malicious people. Let me show you my, it's called VICBHE, and I pay, I'll just show you everything now. It's about $9 a month. Let's see now. Okay, let's look at the pricing. So the monthly plan is $9, and I found it to be very, very much worth it. The yearly plan is $575. I've subscribed to this yearly plan. You can build a plan. You can say build $1 per location and all that. But at the end of the day, because I move around a little bit, so I go to anywhere in the world, what I try to do is to activate my VPN. The cheapest is there's one for about $2 a month. $2 a month would be like $300. Yes, $300 a month. I mean 300 naira. If you take it or 320 naira per month. As Sir John said, the cheap ones may not give you the service that's why I went for the $9 thing. But that one is not even the high end. It's like in the 8/10 range. So it's quite a helpful thing. So Sir John, I'll just kill in time. Show me your own. Okay. You're just trying to get something while I'm talking. Yes, now it's possible.
So can you see
mine? You are not talking now.
Can you see mine, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So this is my own VPN. The VPN I use. So I usually just, once you connect, hit on connect, and that's it.
What's the subscription for this one? Now, what's in a Proton VPN? What's the subscription for Proton? Pardon?
Yes, Proton, sir.
What is the subscription? How much is it?
Oh, that's 10,000, sir.
10,000 what?
10,000 naira.
For 2 years?
For a year, sir.
For a year, okay, fine. So you can see it's not too expensive.
Yeah,
mine is 3,500 a month. So we have a few more minutes, sir. I think we may not be able to take any more questions.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah.
So maybe just because there was a question from someone from Usman Danfodio University about the ethics of VPN.
Yes.
So maybe that's what you want
I can answer that one straight away. It's
sir.
a matter of your deciding whether you are doing ethics. There's nothing unethical about it, or you want to expose yourself. For me, what it does, if there is a server of that service near you, then there's no problem. But it can just show you to be, the nearest server to you may be in the US or Mexico or wherever. So that's where their server is. So for me, it's a decision, it's a personal decision. If you want to say, oh, there's ethical, but there's nothing ethical about it. You only try to protect yourself in a world where there's real confusion. If you read my lead piece in newsletter number 11, you find, I mean, Professor Shetimi and a number of others kept sending. You know, there's danger out there. So that's what I think. Can we round up now, sir?
Yes, sir. I quite agree with you. It's more like voluntary non-disclosure of your location.
Yes, exactly.
Which is fine. So, Professor Shetimi and others are there. Can we check even if it's just 3 more, sir?
No, because of the time. They can keep their wonderful contributions or questions for next week. Next week is the last lecture. And as you are familiar with our methodology in VICBHE, where we say we're going to stop at 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock we must stop.
You are quite right, sir. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of today's very interesting and exciting lectures. And there is no doubt that we have all, benefited greatly. VPN, we've been informed, is more like a secure VIP pass, that enables us to guide, securely through the virtual highway. The browser, of course, being the gateway that it is, it's more or less protects us from malicious, attacks by cyber criminals, just like we've been, informed during our various lectures. So there's no doubt that, these lectures have been very, very enlightening. In spite of what we already know from the practicals and from the newsletters and from the videos, we have all, benefited greatly, and we have been well enlightened. And we are now better informed about, browser security and also the issue of VPN. I think on this note, I will invite our distinguished, I will thank our great presenters, Professor in the making, Ali Abdurazak, for your wonderful presentation, and also Professor Sir John Ogenewe, also for your wonderful presentation. We're indeed highly grateful, and we look forward to more and more presentations from your end in subsequent programs. Thank you very much, sir. On this note, I will invite the Facilitator General.
Yeah, thank you, our VC Emeritus. You see, our chair for today, who is our host, who is our deputy or co-chair, 3 rows rolled into one. It was the Vice Chancellor of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida University about 60 years ago. And as VC, he did so very, very well. Professor Nasir Meturari, on behalf of all of us, would like to thank you for steering this session so very well. Happily, so as you can see from the program for the week, there is no discussion forum, there's no nothing. So you just go ahead and enjoy yourselves in the project. Now, I'm going to try if I can get like a 5-minute video to guide you in the formatting of the project report. That should happen maybe by tomorrow. So thank you one and all for being part of this exciting journey. I'd like to thank Professor Ashafa and Professor Akinwande for their very, very kind words. Professor Ashafa was last week, Professor Akinwande this week, and all the others that have been sending so wonderful messages. So I want to dodge the closing to ask our facilitator, Deputy FG, Professor Moniolu Olaniyi, what a female voice to close this wonderful session. Professor Olaniyi, the floor is all yours.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Our great and wonderful facilitator, General, sir. We are always grateful for these opportunities and for always going all out to ensure that we receive the best. Thank you for exposing your products to these great opportunities that they were able to also give back to us and also learn at the same time. We appreciate you, sir. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Facilitator General, Emeritus Professor Emeritus Peter Okebukola, OFR, and the management of VICBHE, I want to thank you very much for your participation and for being available to learn. Thank you so much for being great scholars, and I wish you all the best and a great week ahead. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's exactly 2:59. That's the whole